الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وانبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي أما بعد. All praise be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one who has given us life, the one who has given us health and wealth and allowed us to live in a country of safety and security and peace. My dear brothers and sisters, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, مَا يَفْعَلُ اللَّهُ بِعَذَابِكُمْ إِن شَكَرْتُمْ وَآمَنْتُمْ وَكَانَ اللَّهُ شَاكِرًا عَلِيمًا. What is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala going to gain by punishing the one who is thankful and believes? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is the most appreciative and the most knowing. And so from this verse, my dear brothers and sisters, we learn that the reason behind why there is suffering in this world, why there is pain and hurt, why there is poverty, why there is hunger and famine, we learn that there's always a reason behind why all these calamities occur. There's always a greater wisdom. And this wisdom is highlighted in this verse when Allah says, مَا يَفْعَلُ اللَّهُ بِعَذَابِكُمْ إِن شَكَرْتُمْ. What is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala going to gain by punishing the one who is thankful? And what are some of these wisdoms? The first wisdom is that it reminds us that this world is not Jannah. Some people want, I should say, a world with no suffering, a world with no pain, with no disease, nothing but good and happiness. This world that they're describing is nothing but Jannah. And how do we get to this thing? We must remember that this is just a stepping stone to Jannah. And that becomes one of the reasons why suffering and pain occurs. If you want a world with no pain and suffering, then that's excellent. How do we get there? We get there by enduring the pain and suffering and remembering that the pain and suffering in this world is nothing but a test from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The second wisdom is to remind us to be thankful of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In pain and suffering, we begin to appreciate more. When we are sick, we begin to appreciate the health we have. When our wealth becomes constricted, we begin to appreciate the wealth we used to have. When in times of pandemics, when populations are forced to go into lockdown, we appreciate the gift of freedom. a little bit of pain and a little bit of suffering, it jolts us to remember the one who gave us everything, and it makes us understand the blessings and the ni'mah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the third reason why suffering and pain occurs is that it helps us remember the necessity and the importance of making dua. Because sometimes, my dear brothers and sisters, the world we live in, it becomes so sweet to us that we get the job we want, we get the life we want, we get everything we want, and we forget the one who gave us everything. And through a bit of pain, through a bit of suffering, it forces us to turn back to the one who gave us everything. And I can guarantee every single one of us that the closest we ever came to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was in times of suffering and pain. And as Ibn al-Qayyim, may Allah have mercy upon him, he said that no calamity that brings a person closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a disaster, rather it is a blessing. Why is it a blessing? It is a blessing because how can something that brings someone closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be a disaster or be an evil? So just like a parent, they discipline their children for a greater good, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala belongs the best of examples. وَلِلَّهِ الْمَثَلُ الْأَعْلَى. The fourth thing is that we need to earn Jannah. And I don't mean a tit for tat earning for Jannah, because our deeds alone can never earn us Jannah. And in the famous hadith narrated in Bukhari and Muslim, when the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, none of you will earn Jannah by his deeds alone. So the Sahaba, they asked the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, وَلَا أَنْتَ يَا رَسُولَ اللَّهِ, not even you, O Messenger of Allah. And the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he responded by saying, not even me, unless Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala envelopes me in His mercy. So we do whatever little good we can do, we endure whatever suffering we can, so that not that we can earn Jannah, but rather so we can earn the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which will get us to Jannah. And although there's many more, the final wisdom we can derive from suffering and pain is that it alleviates the pain and suffering from the hereafter. Because the pain and suffering in this world is bearable, but the pain and suffering in the hereafter, it's not bearable. As the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, do not curse the fever. Why? Because the fever, through the fever, it extinguishes the sins of the believer. So, my dear brothers and sisters, although there's many other wisdoms, these are just some of the wisdoms to remind us that through every calamity and wisdom, be patient and remember that no calamity befalls a believer except that there is a greater wisdom behind it. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. Bismillah walhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. My dear brothers and sisters, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَعْبُدُ اللَّهَ عَلَى حَرْفٍ فَإِنْ أَصَابَهُ خَيْرٌ اطْمَأَنَّ بِهِ وَإِنْ أَصَابَتْهُ فِتْنَةٌ انقلب على وجهه خسر الدنيا والآخرة ذلك هو الخسران المبين. There are some people in this world that worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the edge. If a good befalls them, they become content. But if a fitna strikes them, they turn their faces the other way. And Allah describes this as the greatest loss in this world and the hereafter. ذلك هو الخسران المبين, the absolute greatest loss. So we must remember, my brothers and sisters, that every time there is a pain or calamity, there is always a reason behind it, a greater wisdom and a generous reward prepared by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the ones who endure the pain and suffering with patience and trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said that on Judgment Day there will be the people that suffered so much in this world that when they see the reward for their suffering on that day, they will wish they suffered suffer even more in this earth. So, my dear brothers and sisters, next time we go through a calamity, next time we go through some sort of suffering and pain, yes, we raise our hands up to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and we ask Allah to alleviate the pain, but when it does come, we fight the calamity as Muslims and we remember what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has promised in the Quran. فَإِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا إِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا. Indeed, verily, surely, unquestionably, with every difficulty there will come ease. With every difficulty there will come ease. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect us. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us amongst the people that when a calamity befalls us, we are the ones that turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and say, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. To Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala we belong, and to Him we will definitely be returning to. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to keep us steadfast on the sirat al-mustaqim. عباد الله إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات. اللهم آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. وأقم الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح. قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
الله أكبر.
الله أكبر.
الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. هل أتاك حديث الغاشية وجوه يومئذ خاشعة عاملة ناصبة تصلى نارا حامية تسقى من عين آنية ليس لهم طعام إلا من ضريع لا يسمن ولا يغني من جوع وجوه يومئذ ناعمة لسعيها راضية في جنة عالية فذكر إنما أنت مذكر لست عليهم بمسيطر إلا من تولى وكفر فيعذبه الله العذاب الأكبر إن إلينا إيابهم ثم إن علينا حسابهم. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. إذا زلزلت الأرض زلزالها وأخرجت الأرض أثقالها وقال الإنسان ما لها يومئذ تحدث أخبارها بأن ربك أوحى لها يومئذ يصدر الناس أشتاتا ليروا أعمالهم فمن يعمل مثقال ذرة خيرا يره ومن يعمل مثقال ذرة شرا يره. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله